All right. Hi again and welcome. My name is Kiana Frazier. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at St. Elizabeth University. I'm also an alumni. I graduated in 2017. With me, we have Dr. Santa Maria. Welcome everyone again to learn a little bit more about the individualized major. So what's going to happen, I'm going to just go over some of our application process, and then I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Santa Maria. He's going to tell you a little bit more about the program. So I'm going to share my screen. So St. Elizabeth was founded in 1899 as one of the first all-women's colleges in New Jersey. We're now fully co-ed as of 2016, and as of this past July, we became a university. So we're no longer College of St. Elizabeth, but St. Elizabeth University. We still pride ourselves in our mission to be service-oriented as well as serve diverse populations. So we really strive ourselves in our individualized attention. Our student to faculty ratio was 11-1. So professors and students will know you by your first name. There's no question about not having access to your professors via their office hours or via email. We also offer tons of other support systems through our Academic Success Center. And I even can speak from experience. If there was a day that I wasn't often, but if I missed an assignment or I missed a day of class, if I saw my professor on campus, they were calling me out, saying everything was okay. They generally care about your success and your well-being, not just when you're on campus during your 4 years, but even after you graduate as well. So here's just a list of our majors. You're here to hear about our individualized major, but we have tons of other majors and minors to choose from, but we'll talk about individualized a little bit later. Here's just more of our partnership and dual degree programs. If anyone's interested in law and medicine, we also offer professional prep classes in those as well. So our SEU Promise program, it begins with your freshman year and you're a part of the program all 4 years, and it includes advising, workshops, internships, all to ensure that you're successful after graduation. So if for whatever reason, within 6 months after 6 months after you graduate, if you're not employed or in a graduate program, we will hire you back for a 6-month paid internship, just to help you figure out what your next steps are. Like I said earlier, we really care about your success and your not only while you're on campus, but after you graduate. So I know tuition is always a hot topic when it comes to the college search, but we try to make it as affordable as possible. Our average financial aid package is about $33,000. And our merit-based scholarships range anywhere from $15,500 to $21,000. For example, you receive $1,000 today for logging on and listening to our info session today. So thank you. We'll be sure to add that to your file, but that's just an example of different types of ways that we give scholarships to our students. So we are located in Morristown. We do have a train station right on campus, which allows for easy access to New York City or even to your home as well. You are allowed to have a car on campus your freshman year, but having that train, if you don't have a car, not only are you able to have internships and other networking opportunities off campus, but even if you're looking to get a job or hang out with friends, that train is very convenient. So our athletics department, we are Division III, which means that you will not receive any aid to play your sport. So you're playing the sport for the love of the game. We have tons of sports you can choose from. And if you are interested, please let us know and I will get you in contact with our athletics liaison, Arlen Friedman. So we do have a summer bridge program for incoming freshmen. So it's a 4.5-week program and it includes activities, you're taking classes, and different types of workshops. And at the end of the program, you can receive up to 8 free credits. So in the rest of your class, start with 0. You're starting with 8. It is free, so of no cost to you. Free room and board, activities, academic materials. It is currently for select students. So it will be mentioned in your acceptance packet should you be accepted, whether or not it's optional or mandatory. So if it's optional, that means that you don't have to do it if you don't want to, though I highly recommend. But if it's mandatory, your acceptance is contingent on you attending the program. So if you have not done so already, I do encourage you to apply. There's 2 ways to apply, through the Common App or on our website. We do not offer application fee. What we'll need from you is your transcript, 2 letters of recommendation, 1 from a teacher, and your personal essay. We are SAT and ACT optional, so if you did take the SAT, you can send them if you want to, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But I do encourage applications early because you will receive priority scholarship consideration. This is just a list of our enrollment steps. We're here every step of the way to ensure that you have a smooth transition into the university. If there's any way that we can help ease the process, please let your admissions counselor know. We're here to help you every step of the way. You can call us, you can text us. We want to make sure that it is as easy as possible. So we do encourage you to visit. You are listening to us today, but definitely come visit us on campus just to get a tour. You also can visit us via our virtual tour, but like I said, you get $1,000 for attending our virtual visit today. So congrats. And if you have any questions at all, definitely feel free to reach out to us. These are our other admissions counselors and the territories that they serve. So if you see your county, you'll see the person that you're in contact with. And now I'll hand it over to Dr. Santa Maria.
Thank you so much, Kiana. I'm delighted. That was a great presentation and a lot of good information there for the students. I'm going to be sharing my screen now, if that's okay. But first, I'm delighted to have this chance to meet with a couple of prospective students, and especially ones who are interested in the individualized major. It's a great option that we offer here at SCU. But before I say more about that, I want to plug the Summer Scholars Program. If you are invited to participate in the Summer Scholars Program, it's really a wonderful opportunity for students. So look for that, in any admissions correspondence that you receive from SCU, because it's really a wonderful opportunity as well. But with that said, I'm going to share my screen with you. First, I want to talk about the value of college. You want to make sure that everything that you do is ultimately going to benefit you. Now, in what way does a college education make a difference? Well, first and foremost, the bottom line, it gives you a lot more earning power. Someone with a 4-year degree from a college or university, on average, over the course of their life, versus someone with just a high school diploma, earns about $2 million more. Some studies say up to $2.6 million more over their lifetime than someone with just a high school diploma. That's the difference that a college education makes. And it's about $1.5 million more than someone with a 2-year degree. So a 4-year degree makes a huge difference. It also gives you a lot more job security. A lot of that investment involves, and what you get out of it, the return that you're going to get, has to do with the major that you choose. You have the option to create your own major, often called a self-design or an individualized major. So I'm not going to say more about that. Now we're going to focus on that. So the individualized or self-design major. Most students choose one of the colleges or universities' established majors, okay? But for some students, a more individualized self-design major is the better option. It better meets their specific goals and their specific objectives. Think of it this way. The analogy that I like to use is the analogy of going to a restaurant. I like to cook, but at a restaurant, right, you get a menu. And on the menu, you see all the different dishes that they're set to prepare for you, that they'll cook for you. You can order them. And at some restaurants, in addition to that set menu, you can order a la carte, which means that you can pick and choose stuff from different dishes and put them together into a special dish based on what you're really looking for. Well, that's just an analogy for how a self-design major works. A self-design major basically involves looking at everything that SCU has to offer, and it's a lot, not just here on campus at SCU, but one thing that you should know is that we have cross-registration agreements with Fairleigh Dickinson University and Drew University, which means that any of their courses at the undergraduate level you can take as part of your tuition. You have to pay extra for them. They're included in the course options that you have at SCU. Plus, we're part of a lot of consortiums that provide you with access to thousands of other classes that you can take. They're all part of the menu that we have here at SEU. So when you look at all the different things that we have, you can actually put those things together. We allow you to design your own major. Now it's guided. You work with faculty, usually at least 2 from different disciplines. And we make sure that what you're putting together is something that's going to help you. It's something that has opportunities for you. It's something that makes sense. Think of the menu at the restaurant again. Imagine that you go to the restaurant and you want to put together something that's going to give you an upset stomach. Well, they're going to tell you, you shouldn't eat those 2 things because they're going to give you an upset stomach. Similarly, when it comes to designing this, an individualized major, we tell you that while those 2 things aren't necessarily going to go together very well in terms of the opportunities they're going to provide you after you graduate, but these things will go together. So we work with you. What are you passionate about? What are you good at? What are you interested in? What are all the different things that we have to offer? Where are the opportunities? Those are the things that we focus on. And so it really provides you with infinite possibilities. So more about how this works. So an individualized Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science in major basically gives highly motivated students the opportunity to create your own program of study. All right. It's not only going to be academically challenging and demanding, it has to fit within the framework of what we already have, right? So it's a set, we have, here's our menu, but remember, there are almost infinite choices on that menu. So it's based on what's already available. So we don't create new courses, although we do have special topics classes that we could create for you if we see that there's an interest in doing so. So we do have some options to do that, special topics classes. But for the most part, it's based on looking at the different things that we have and putting them together in a way that really makes sense and that connects with what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, and where there are opportunities for jobs, for careers in the world, out after you graduate. How does it work? Well, basically, when you set up an individualized major, you engage in thorough research and discussion with a faculty advisor. You're assigned a faculty advisor, but as I said, you usually work with more than one faculty person, but one is going to be your main advisor, the point person. And you determine a clear direction for what you want to accomplish in your major. You actually have to write a personal statement where you say, this is why I want this individualized major. These are the things that I want to learn. This is what I'm passionate about. And here's what I'm going to do with the things that I learned and the things that this major is going to teach me. You have to complete a proposal for an individualized major form, which includes, as I said, a statement describing your purpose for the major, what you hope to learn from it, and then working with the faculty advisor that you have, what those courses are going to be. There's usually 2 academic departments involved. So it could be, for example, business and communication. We've actually had students that have done individualized majors in business and communication. Or it could be criminal justice and history. And we've had students that have done individualized majors that combine courses from those 2 departments. And I'll be describing some other examples for you in more detail in a moment. But basically, the idea is that there's a process. You have to have completed at least 1 semester here at SEU. So you get a taste for different things, although you can already have in mind and start the conversation right at the very beginning. Your first semester, you can start the conversation. But it's not until your second semester that we really start to put together the formal pieces of what this self-designed major is going to look like. But how do you decide? How do you decide on any major, whether it's an individualized major or one of the set majors that we already have in place? Well, here are some basic questions that you should ask yourself. What are you good at? What do you really like to do? Remember, you're going to be spending 1/3 of your life in your career or job. You want it to be something that you're interested in, that you're good at. There's this old adage, basically, you probably heard it, that says that, discover what you really love to do and then find somebody who's going to pay you to do it. And that's really what part of the college or university experience is about. Discovering what you really love to do and then connecting it with the opportunities that are out there. And that's another question that you need to ask. Where are the opportunities? We have a new graduate program here at the university called Digital Media Design and Marketing. Now, 10 years ago, there was no such thing as a master's in digital media design and marketing. And 15 years ago, there weren't any jobs in that field. But in that period, now there's huge opportunities for people who have the right skill set and the right knowledge base to become professional digital media designers and marketing analysts. There really are tremendous opportunities. And so we decided that based on the interest that our students had and based on the opportunities that are presented in the world, to bring in this new program. What's the right fit for you in terms of courses, in terms of what you're interested in terms of what you're good at? What will make you stand out? This is another thing to consider. College graduates, when they apply for graduate schools, for graduate programs, and when they apply for jobs, they're competing with a lot of other college graduates. What's going to make you stand out with your competitor, versus your competitors? You want to do something that's really distinctive. Individualized Major gives you that opportunity. But here's an example. A few years ago, I had a student who she was actually here with her sister. They're twins, and they were both biology majors, focused on being pre-med. But one of them came to me and said, "You know what? I'm thinking that I would like to add a second major to biology. I would like to add," and this was an interesting idea. "I would like to add a philosophy major to my biology major. I would like to do a double major." And I said, "Well, that's going to be a pretty challenging because both of these majors are pretty tough." And I asked her, "Why do you want to do that?" Well, she said, "First, because I'm really interested. I'm interested in both biology, but I'm also interested in sort of in the big picture in life and where we fit in. I'm especially interested in ethics, and philosophy is a field of study that investigates ethics." So I said, "Okay, that's good." And she also then said, "And I know that the combination is going to make me stand out. When I apply to medical schools, that combination is going to make me stand out because there's going to be very few other applicants that are going to be both biology majors and philosophy majors. I'm going to be competing with a lot of people who have very good grades, who have done a lot of, service learning and have internships. What's going to make me stand out?" So she added this major. It wasn't easy to do both, but she did both. And after she graduated, not only did she go on to medical school, she also ended up getting a master's in bioethics. She got a master's in public health. This added to her credentials. She has tremendous opportunities. She's gone on to have a lot of wonderful jobs, and her career is incredible. She really made an interesting choice that benefited her, that made her stand out, but it was based on where the opportunities are. It was based on what she was interested in, and it was based on really what fit. What was the right fit for her? So how do you choose a major? And how do you decide? If you're not sure, you're thinking about an individualized major, but you're not sure, you start taking courses that appeal to you, things that you already know that you're interested in and enjoy, but also explore some classes that you've never taken before, things that you're curious about. You may discover some new talents, some new areas of interest, some new interesting, creative opportunities to add to your individualized major. A class that you never planned to take could end up helping you to choose your major. That's actually what happened to me. I went to university thinking that I was going to be a business major and become a stockbroker. That was my goal. And I still did a minor in business and economics. I still was very interested in that. but I decided, I tried to do a triple major. I got so interested in all these different classes that I had the opportunity to take, and I wanted to maximize, as I mentioned right at the very beginning, the investment that I was getting out of my education. Here's 3 important numbers, and this is where an individualized major really can make a difference. 30, 50, and 80. What do they represent? They represent percentages. 30% of students right now in college or university are going to be going into careers that haven't even been invented yet. They don't exist yet. That's how quickly the world is changing. The job market is changing. A lot of it has to do with technology, like a social media designer. That didn't exist, or manager. That didn't exist 10 years ago. It exists now. It exists now. So 30% of students in college or university right now are going to go into careers that haven't even been invented yet. How do you prepare for a job that no one's doing yet because it hasn't been invented yet? You want to make sure that you have the knowledge base and skill set to be able to go into a special field of study that's going to that really is going to be altogether new and provide amazing opportunities for you. 50% of people right now in the world are going to be changing in their careers, are going to be changing their careers at least once. And most people 2 to up to 5 times over the course of their life. So you graduate college, you go into a career, and then 5 or 10 years later, you decide to go in a different direction and a different career. And 5 to 10 years after that, you might decide on a different career or different direction. You have to, that's how quickly things change and new opportunities arise. And again, you want to be prepared for that. You want to make sure you don't have to go back to school. You want to make sure that you already got the knowledge base and skill set to be able to shift directions. And this is where an individualized major can really provide you with exactly what you need. You can combine all your different interests into one major. And 80 represents the percentage of people that, and it's rare today, that stay in the same career. 80% of people that stay in the same career have to actually reinvent themselves even within that career about every 5 years. The job changes. People who, became doctors 5 years ago, I can tell you right now, the way that they're practicing medicine is not exactly the same as what it was 5 years ago. College professors today are teaching differently than they were 5 years ago. You can ask any of our professors here on campus if that's the truth, and it is. So that's how quickly careers change. So you really want to make sure that you have a solid basis in the transferable knowledge and skills that you get in a good general education program like the kind that we have here at SEU, but also in terms of your major or majors, minors, that you've really prepared yourself for going into different directions. So here's some guidelines. Take a career interest survey, all right? What are you interested in? What kinds of careers are you best suited at? You get the opportunity to do that here at, now it used to be CSE, sorry, I forgot to change that one, SEU. That's one of the first things that you get to do here, is take this career interest survey where you learn about different career opportunities, you learn about the majors that are connected to them, you learn about which ones, you learn a little bit more about yourself and which ones really connect with the kind of person that you are. Explore your options. Think about all the different possibilities. Talk to your academic advisors and to your professors. They're here, they're very knowledgeable. They would provide a lot of guidance and support. Balance what's practical with what you're passionate about. Often they're the same thing, and both can lead to great opportunities. All right, always be thinking about where are the opportunities after I graduate. Here's something that I'm really interested in. Here's something that I love. You love playing video games, for example. Game development and design might be a really good choice for you because it's something that you're passionate about already and something that really has amazing opportunities in terms of jobs and careers. Make the most out of your college education. Again, this brings me back to the very beginning. Consider a double major. Consider a major and a minor. Consider a major and a double minor. Consider a double major in a minor. You can have an individualized major and a minor, and a second minor. You can have an individualized major and a double major, a second major. And consider a combined degree program. What I talked about very early in this conversation, where you get the opportunity to get 2 degrees in one. Instead of taking 6 years to get your bachelor's and your master's, it takes 5 years. It saves a year of time, a year of money, and for part of that, the undergraduate rate applies to the graduate classes. Graduate courses are more expensive than undergraduate courses. So when you get to take graduate courses as an undergrad and you pay the undergraduate rate, you save money. So it saves you time, it saves you money, you get 2 degrees, and you're even closer to that, that career of your choice. So give yourself multiple pathways. Now this is a little misaligned, sorry about that. Something must have happened when it changed to the new version. Well, that should, well, you see what I mean. I'm not gonna fill it with that and take up more of your time, but the arrows are supposed to point to 2 to 3 paths, 4 to 6 paths. See, I have an older version of PowerPoint. My office computer has a newer version, so it changed the formatting a little bit. But a single major gives you at least 2 to 3 paths after you graduate. A double major and a major and a minor, at least 4 to 6, twice as many. A double major and minor, or major and double minor, 6 to 8 paths, different directions that you can go in. And that you don't necessarily, you can always change directions. You go in one direction for a few years, then you decide, well, I want to start my own business, go in a different direction. You minored in business, you have a good background in that, or maybe you did a second major in business, or you did an individualized major that included a lot of business courses. So you want to make yourself versatile, adaptable, and marketable. The more that you can show the world that you know and that you can do, the more marketable you are, the more opportunities are going to be presented to you and available to you. And it's okay to change your mind. So here are some samples of individualized majors. Game development and design that I already mentioned. Supply chain management is something that somebody can do right away. There's big opportunities there. Global leadership and international relations. Computer engineering. Legal studies. We've had a couple of students that have done that. They've gone on to law school. Bioethics. Political science and political philosophy. Cinema and culture studies. Science, ethics, and the environment. Community health and human services. Science and technology. Liberal studies. Liberal and historical studies. American studies. And environmental science. All of these were carefully designed for the students who were interested in them, and they led to graduate school opportunities, to jobs, to careers. We have several students currently pursuing some of these. So if you want something different, consider an individualized major, a self-designed major. As I said, there are infinite possibilities.